why has adaptation been such a dirty word?
Well, I think there was, for a long time, this derives from the earliest days when Al Gore wrote his first book. In 1990, he basically said it was unethical to talk about adaptation. In his new book, that's just out now, The Future, he's acknowledging that was an error, and that we do need to have parallel tracks. So you have to adapt and work on, as you can, going forward on mitigating the emissions that are going to drive that long-term picture. But this is what some really smart economists several years ago called this a super wicked problem. In economics, wicked is an actual term of economic problems that have multiple facets, and if you tweak one knob, the other one goes this way. So it's a complicated system, and Kelly Levin and then Richard Lazarus called this super wicked. And actually, I've written on my blog that it's beyond super wicked because some of the elements they didn't put into their assessment, like this bind you get into, human nature still, including our politics, not just individuals, we don't think for the long term. And so if you're guaranteed to have basically roughly the same amount of warming on a short, politically relevant time scale, and again, the worst, the long tail of this problem is 2100 and beyond. How if you're an environmental activist, how do you generate activism and actual response based on those long trajectories? And it's really hard. I just wrote just today about the asteroid. We had these two cosmic, close shaves on the same day, completely unrelated. And I just wrote today on .earth about how there too, we're completely uninvested in the very cheap technology it would take to have a telescope that could find a lot of these and cut the odds of boost the odds of us finding and deflecting one before it strikes. And the title of the thing was, "Can we be smarter than dinosaurs?" And the answer was from Rusty Schweickart, this Apollo 9 astronaut, said, "Well, no, it doesn't look that way."
The jury's out.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so we might ask. Is Al Gore smarter than a dinosaur? But if the question was posed that adaptation is unethical, because the argument was that if we talked about adaptation, we wouldn't think about mitigation, that we wouldn't think about stopping emission.
Well, it was unfortunate.
But was that a mistake?
I think so. Yeah. In 2006, I wrote a story for the Weekend Review section of the Times. The title was "Yelling Fire on a Hot Planet," and a big chunk of that article was focused on social science from a meeting that Al Gore was at. A guy at Yale named Dan Abbasi wrote a big report about this meeting later, where they in 2006 were saying we should really focus on adaptation, because once people are integrated with the idea that the climate is changing, then they can move from that to start to really assess and integrate into their thinking and their responses what to do about the drivers of climate change, as well as just getting adjusting to it.